how to convey maximum through images on Amazon. So there are two components. One is the Amazon algorithm, second is the customer, the one who's going to actually see the product, see your photographs, maybe read your title and bullet points. In some cases, go through your product description as well at the bottom. So let's talk one by one about both of these entities. Let's start first of all with the customers, actual customers who are going to purchase your product, and how you should optimize your listing in order for them to make the decision as soon as possible. So let's follow power law in this. The most important component for the human entity is title and the photograph. Title conveys the basic product description or product detail, but the image is the most relevant among these two as well. The image is the actual thing where people spend a lot of time. If Amazon would have given you that data, then you would have known that disproportionate amount of time is spent on searching and learning through images about your product than actually reading your text, whatever you have written, maybe the title, maybe the bullet points, maybe the product description. The most important thing among all four of these is the images, those images. So how do you think about those images? Well, by norm, you cannot mess with the main image of the product. I think 85% of the image, first image, has to contain the product itself. That's the rule. But you can play with the other 5, 6, in some cases 7 images that are available to you at the time of listing of the product. And most apt use of those 7 images is to convey utility in each of those images. So let's build it visually. For example, if we have 6 images, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, let's start with the first image of the product. You can't mess with that one, so it has to be directly the product image. Let's go to the second one. So if you look at it, if you have done some research about your product, which you certainly must have done, then you would know the utility of the product. And if you can explain that utility in 5, 6 points, so along with the image of the product that you'll be showing on the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th positions for the images, you should put each one of those utilities as well in the image. I'll put a link here, I'll put some examples here. If you could convey as much about the utility of the product in the images itself, your chances of converting a customer, if the customer has landed on your listing, is much higher. Because frankly, nobody likes to read a lot of text. Only in certain cases where people have to look a lot of details, they would want to spend time and read, especially in the case of higher ticket items that are more expensive, I think 4,000, 5,000, 10,000 or higher. So there people do a lot of research in most of the cases, but in general nobody likes to read, and you don't want them to spend a lot of time unnecessarily wasting on the listing reading content where it is not required. What if you could communicate as effectively as possible about the utility of the product in those images? That is the main point I wanted to convey. So once you start optimizing or thinking about optimizing of your Amazon listing or any marketplace's product listing, you have to be focused on images and conveying as much as possible about the utility of the product in those images. That's what we have learned. It makes drastic impact. I can certainly tell you that has been the experience with many of my customers. That's one. Now let's go to the other type of entity. That is the algorithm of Amazon. Now, Amazon's algorithm takes into account all of those things that you can see and multiple other things that you cannot see. But certainly the most important factor for showing your listing for any keyword or in any category is the sale number. That's the biggest factor if you want to get ranking. But let's talk about what you can do from your own side in order to help you optimize your listing as much as possible. So let me give you a few examples. If you go and look at this product, you will see the product description is beautifully presented, really systematic and visually conveyed by the brand. If you see the bullet points, if you see the product basic description, all of these are really well written. So that is an ideal thing. If you could achieve something of this sort, you would have made a lot of progress. Number one. Number two, you need to stuff keywords at two places. One, the front side where you're putting these details, the title, the bullet points, the product description. Of course, as much as possible without repeating a lot of those keywords. But you should put as much keywords as possible on the front end. And then there's a back end like this. Here you can put keywords as well. I'll go in much more details about keywords in future videos, but I'm just stating that if you want Amazon's algorithm to sort and list you for searching keywords, for different keywords, you need to incorporate those relevant keywords. We do help in that as well, and I'll be sharing more video regarding optimization.